Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Business of Learning podcast. My guest here today is Jimmy Lee, who is VP of Business Development at the Institute for Automotive Business Excellence. Jimmy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the invitation. Looking forward to our
And
conversation today.
yeah, I'm excited to have you here because this is a bit of a different dynamic than most training businesses. So, talk to me a little bit more and tell the listeners what you guys are all about.
Yeah, so the Institute for Automotive Business Excellence, we teach shop owners how to run their shop. Many times a technician is reared and raised in the shop. They start by sweeping the floors. After school, maybe it's in high school or college, they're sweeping the floors, they're changing oil, they're doing brakes and brake pads, changing tires, things like that. And they grow up in the business. They learn how to work on cars and work very well on cars. And then one day they wake up and discover that they now own a business. As a business owner, they may have fallen into this because they were upset with their previous owner, or they decided to strike out on their own. Either way, there's a skill set that they have working on cars that they're very good at.
Mm-hmm.
There's a skill set that they don't have yet, and that's working on a business.
Mm-hmm.
We read the E-Myth, you want to work on your business, in your business. And many of these brand new shop owners discover that they are working in their business way too much and they need to work on it and they don't know how. So we work with shop owners all across North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, basically anywhere English speaking. That's our one caveat right now. We don't have foreign language speaking abilities yet,
Yes,
but
yeah.
we're working on that to expand our wings and expand our reach
Mm-hmm.
to help shop owners be the best that they can be at running the shop. Because they wake up and they discover, oh my gosh, I have employees. I don't even know how to deal with employees. They talk back, they take vacations, they get sick. Well, the cars just keep coming, hopefully.
Yeah.
Sometimes they need marketing skills. Sometimes they need HR skills. Sometimes they need legal skills. Sometimes they need leadership skills. And that's where the Automotive Business Excellence, the Institute, that's where the Institute steps in to help them gain those skills and skill sets.
Awesome. I find this so interesting because it's one of the many industries in which there's that natural ascension of, hey, going through the process and just going up and up and up, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I've reached kind of the top. Where do I go from here? So it's an interesting an interest, always nice and interesting to hear about different industries that have that normal ascension. And okay, I'm here. What do I do now? So talk to me a little bit more about maybe some of the challenges, maybe some of the mistakes that general shop owners make, which doesn't allow them to have the business that they need to have.
I think a lot of mistakes that shop owners make is that they don't have a vision of where they want to go or what they want to do. They don't know. They're so tucked into the daily grind, go, 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 that they miss out on the future of the business. So a shop owner without vision is like a boat without a rudder. They're just going, but being tossed back and forth. So when a technician or a specialist comes into your shop, you need to have an idea of where they're going to be, what the plan is, what their future is, the coaching, the training that you're going to provide to them or for them, and the tests that they need to pass, the ASE, the test that they need to pass to say, I'm proficient in changing brakes. I'm proficient in starters, alternators, transmissions, motors, engines, whether it's European or domestic. I am proficient in all these different areas. There's a lot of shop owners that have an idea that they think that they know what they want to do. And they'll say, hey, you know what? For every test you pass, I'll give you $1 per hour raise. A really good friend of mine went and did that. He said, great. Went and passed 8, 9, 10 tests, brought his certificates to the owner. Here you go. $10 an hour raise. And the owner's like, oh, I can't, I can't, I know I said that, but I can't afford to do that. And he went and found another shop that had the vision, that had the idea that says, yes, in fact, not only are we going to hire you at that price, we want to develop an apprentice program. And with this apprentice program, it is now nationwide with the Napa and the Napa Auto Care program. That program is an apprentice program that helps somebody who's interested in the automotive industry start as an apprentice, be paid to learn.
Mm,
They work in the shop half the day. They work on their learning in school online half the day, and they're progressing. They're
mm,
learning. So by the time they're done, it might take them 18 months. It might take them 2 years. It might take them 2.5 years. Whatever their pace is, the meritocracy of this is once you pass it, once you know it, once you demonstrate your skill level, you go
mm-hmm.
on to the next, on to the next, on to the next.
Yeah.
So there, that skill is super
Mm-hmm.
awesome to see have happen in these shops,
Mm,
and to see that success in these shops. So if you as a shop owner, you have that vision that says, hey, look, this is the plan. You come in here and a year from now, we're going to do all these trainings, and a year from now, it your natural progression is going to be at this level. And at this
mm-hmm.
level, you're going to be able to work on cars, and will QC a little bit, but in the next 2 to 3 years, after you've done all these trainings, any
Mm,
training that you want to go to, we're going to send you. We want you to participate. We want you to gather as much knowledge and
mm,
information as you possibly can, because the knowledge and investment that we have into you helps our clients and our customers. They're
mm,
going to be safer on the road. They're going to be safer on the road because you're protecting them. You're also protecting me. You're protecting my family as well. And we're
mm.
protecting your family as well. So
That's so interesting.
this is so important for you as a
Yeah.
shop owner to understand your role in all of this is paramount. You have to have the vision of where you want to
Mhm.
go and what you want to do.
Yeah, it's so interesting because there's so many intricacies and things that have to be done and the in betweens and the ups and downs, but it all starts with a vision. And
Yes.
it's like, how do you get to the destination if there's no destination? Where are you going? Right. So that's so interesting. Is there any, maybe what are some of the most common challenges that they face into creating and adopting this vision, but then running through it and doing the execution?
Yeah. A lot of shop owners right now today, their biggest challenge is technicians, mechanics,
Mm,
specialists.
So
There
finding the talent.
are 300,000 jobs available right now as technicians in the industry. And
Mm,
this year, out of all of the schools all across North America, there's only going to be about 75,000 graduates that will graduate with a degree in automotive repair.
mm,
And of those 75,000, after the first year, there's only going to be about half of them still left in the industry. So there's a huge, huge, huge gap right now
mm,
for technicians. Shop owners need technicians. They need to be attractive to technicians. They need to have a company culture that
mhm,
is attractive, that they've got a bench of technicians that want to come work in their shop. They've
mm,
got a bench of people that if one person were to have to move to Florida to take care of mom or dad, or if they had to move somewhere, or they went out and started their own shop, you as a shop owner, you know you have a bench of technicians that want to come work for you.
mm,
So creating a company culture that's attractive to technicians,
mhm,
so you are the place where technicians want to work. There are shops that say they don't have a technician problem,
mm,
and then there are shops that say that they do have a technician problem. And I suggest that the difference is company culture. Those shops that
mm,
have a good quality company culture, that stay on top of their people, they stay on top of their progress in the industry, they are the ones that will move things forward and be attractive to technicians. Those shops that have a revolving door for technicians,
yeah,
they're the shops that don't have a good company culture. They don't.
mm,
They're backbiting. They're fighting. They don't have company meetings. They have company
mm.
beatings. It's horrible. You've got to be consistent with your company meetings. Every morning you have a stand up meeting. It's 5-10 minutes. Where are we at with this car? Where are we at with this car? Where are we at with this car? Okay, 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 okay. Now, just so you guys are aware, we've got 8 more cars coming in today. So you've got to. We need to get these buttoned up
Mhm.
so we can take care of what's coming in as well.
That's so interesting. It all seems like it's the vision, it's the foundation, and it's like, okay, stick to what works. Stick to what works. Don't try to go crazy with any other ideas or figure something out or invent the airplane again. It's like just do what works
Yeah.
and stick to the plan. That's so interesting. I want to turn the conversation a little bit, Jimmy, to kind of your business now, to the institute. What are some of maybe the challenges that you guys have in reaching out and acquiring more shop owners so that you can create a bigger impact and help them?
Yeah, we reach out in a lot of different methods. We reach out with trade shows and conferences. That's when we're face to face with shop owners,
Sure.
and we reach out with webinars and podcasts
Hmm.
and emails that we reach out to shop owners all across North America. We're barely scratching the surface on the shops that we're able to reach. In fact, we just finished our annual summit meeting. We had roughly 200 clients all come together at Amelia Island in Florida. And
Mm.
this was a week of personal progress, business progress, working on your vision, working on your mission, working on your business so you can return home inspired, enlightened, and have that inspiration and that information to take your
Mm.
business up to that next level. So as a company, we hire coaches. We're hiring roughly one coach every other month right now.
Mm.
The
Awesome.
amount of clients that we've got coming to us at the Institute. We hire from within the industry. So we have shop owners that are
Mm.
currently running their shops. Parker Branch of Branch Automotive is running a phenomenal shop. He is his net revenue. So we track things by the net revenue a
Hmm.
lot of times because that net revenue is what you can take home.
Sure.
It's not how
Yes.
much you can spend, but how much can you take home
Yeah.
at the end of the day when you're playing in the sandbox? How much coin do you still have in the bank that you're able to take care of things?
Hmm.
Parker Branch came on with us as a coach trainer. I think he's training 10, 11, 12 shops, doing a phenomenal job at training these shops. So we have within the industry that comes to us, but we also have without the industry that have come to us.
Hmm.
Quite recently, Kevin Clark and Wayne Marshall. Kevin Clark is consulting in the Fortune 100
Mm.
arena. He's come out of retirement now for the third time because he wants to see the difference. I think he
Mm.
got bored. He got bored and wants to do something. He wants to give back.
Yeah.
And when you're consulting in Fortune 100, you don't get to see the results of that
Mm.
consultation. Within the automotive industry, his shops within 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they just really hockey stick,
Mm.
and they go from making a 1% net profit, a 2% net profit, to making 21, 22, 24,
Mm.
25% net profit. Their average repair order goes up, their car count goes up. Same with Wayne Marshall. His goal, we were talking just the other day, and he says, look, if I have a coaching client with my program longer than 6 months,
Mm.
and they haven't moved into our group process. So we have one-on-one coaching,
Sure.
and then we move that into a group process. And in our groups, it's 20 shop owners that come together.
Mm.
3 times a year, they go visit a shop. And when
Mm.
they
Like a
descend on
mastermind.
this shop, you've got
Mm.
20 sets of eyes looking at everything that you're snowblind to.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, the road sign, the paint on the side of the building, the parts receiving parts returns, your flow inside of your shop. They're analyzing everything, your website, your marketing, your OSHA regulations, your
Hmm.
employee handbook. What does all of this look like? So when these descend on you, by the way, you've probably prepared for the last year to get ready for it.
Hmm.
You walk away with 200 different things that you need to do on your
Mm.
business to make it better, to take it to that next level.
Mm.
So our group process even hockey sticks it even more. And I'm thinking of Tracy Holt and his sister Patrice.
Sure.
They came to us and said, look, don't talk to us about car count. We have a good car count. Don't talk to us about average repair order. We have a good average repair order.
Mm.
I need help in my shop. I need shop efficiencies. I need to be able to be more efficient with what I've already got.
Mm.
He says, I'm a 7% net profit shop. I know that if we can improve our efficiencies in the shop, it will go straight to the bottom line.
Mm.
So there you go. And there's the challenge. And he's working with his coach, working with his coach, working with his coach. After 9 months, he has a record month, 24.9% net profit.
Hmm. That's awesome. Yeah.
Dude, this is amazing. He's worked with how many other training companies and they weren't able to meet him where he was. They weren't able to customize their program. They just put their rubber stamp, here, do this, and that will be success for you.
Yeah.
No, no, no. You need to meet people where they are.
Hmm.
To be the smartest person in the room, you've got to ask the right questions. You need to know what everybody else knows in order for you to be the smartest person. And chances are you're not the smartest person in the
Yeah.
room. You need to work with other people. So with Tracy and with Patrice, we met them where they were. Natural result. Now, this is interesting. Natural result was their car count did go up. Their the average repair order, it did go up.
Mm-hmm. Because the efficiency improved, so everything went up with it. Yeah.
Bingo. Bingo. We didn't even have to address those two other things, but a
Mm,
lot of other training companies, that's what they'll come in and say. Raise
mm,
your rates, raise your this, raise your this. No, no, no. You need more car count. No, no, no.
mm,
You don't need more car count. You need to do more with what you've already got. You need to be more efficient with what you've got, more present with what you've got. It's going to make all the difference.
Interesting. That's so. It's fascinating. I like the idea of having that. Hey, kind of holding their hand through it, but then after a while, it's like, okay, let's hop into an actual mastermind of people that are going to have different perspectives, different set of eyes. Because oftentimes, you're, as you said, you're snowblind to a lot of things that are going on, and if someone just looks at it from the outside bird's eye view, that's the thing. And you're like, oh, duh. But it helps to have that. So it's so interesting. And I'm wondering. Obviously, you mentioned before we started the podcast itself. You've mentioned some goals that you guys have for the company. What are some challenges in getting to those goals? Maybe the possibility of, hey, how do we actually increase the volume of as many shops as we can actually bring on and help, and actually one, increase the impact, but also increase the revenue coming into the business. So what are some of the things that are not stopping you, but impeding in our obstacles in the way of getting there?
Yeah, within the industry, that's a good question. So the obstacle for the institute is getting in front of these shop owners and having those deep conversations.
Mm.
Within the automotive industry, you can imagine it's very masculine. It's very
Yeah.
testosterone driven.
Yeah.
They have had to figure out things in the past, and so this is just another thing that they think they
Mm.
just need to figure out. And there's more to it than that. It's not a thing that you can just figure out. It is somebody you need a coach for. Think
Mm-hmm.
of all the professional athletes. They are the top of their game. How many coaches do they have?
Yeah.
How many trainers do they have?
1000%. Mm-hmm. That's so
10,
interesting.
11, 12. Michael Phelps had 7 or 8 different
Yeah.
coaches,
Mm-hmm.
one for each stroke, one for his flip turns, one for his nutrition, one for his mind,
Yeah.
neurological. You need a coach. You need
Mm-hmm.
somebody in your corner that is going to help you and coach you
Yeah.
and not going to accept your excuses,
Mm-hmm.
because there's things you need to do as a shop owner, as a
Yeah.
business owner, that you just have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't want to do it,
Yeah. I
but you
heard
have
this
to.
quote the other day, which is two actually that were within the excuse realm, which is one, the only people that like excuses are the ones giving them. I was like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good one.
and the other one was excuses will always be excuses. Sorry, excuses, no matter how valid, will always weaken your character. And sure, we always have these things that we can. It's like, yeah, it happened because of this or because of that, and like a million things that can come into the way of whatever we want to achieve. But at the end of the day, it's you that has to achieve them. So it's, are you going to give power to the excuse, or are you going to give power to you? So I
Oh,
find it interesting that you that you mentioned it is like a more masculine, testosterone driven, and is that like I just gotta figure this out. So I can imagine that it kind of hits the ego of like I need someone else to help me with this, which is can often be guilty of that in some things as well. But it can often be like a daunting thing of, I've been able to figure it out on my own up until now. Why can't I keep doing that? So it's interesting that you shared that insight, and it reminded me of those two quotes. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. When it comes to the the journey that you've been on in helping these shops and making sure that they get the attention that they need, and show the impact and show what's possible to them, is there anything that you wish you knew before in starting in this journey that maybe would have made things improve a lot faster for the business, for your business, of course?
that's a good question. Getting started in it sooner, finding the right people sooner.
Mm,
A lot of times it's just about timing and falling in the right place at the right time, and having the right conversations at the right time. A lot of it is timing. So
mm,
I do find that conversations with shop owners, we're finding them at the time that they need it, at the time that they need help. I think of Jesse Matthews in North Carolina. He was a mobile technician.
Mhm.
And as a mobile technician, you go from house to house to house working on cars. Well, most of what we do is brick and mortar. So
Mm.
you've got a front door, you've got a brick and mortar, you have a garage and a lift
Yeah.
and that type of devices where people are coming to you. That's really where we fly. And we met him at a conference trade show, and he's like, "Oh man, I really want to be with you guys. I just can't afford it. I just can't afford it." Do I understand, Jesse? Timing's not right yet. He was still working at the dealership, still working as a mobile tech.
Hmm.
We met him again the next year, and he's like, "Okay, this is it. I'm ready. I'm going to sign up with you guys. We're going to do this." Timing still wasn't right yet. So
Mm.
he waited a couple of months. He quit at the dealership, went full time mobile, found a brick and mortar, found a shop with a couple of bays in it, and said, "Okay, I'm in. I'm going to do this." And his first month in the shop with our coaching and training, before as a mobile tech, he was closing 6,000 a month. And his first week in his new shop, week? No, month. His first month was $24,000.
Mm.
It's a world of difference.
Yeah.
So timing, yes, timing is a big thing in this industry. Timing with getting to people
Mm.
when they're ready.
Yeah.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
Very true, especially here in the automotive industry.
That's so interesting. I imagine if every investment that you made in something, you just got a quick forex in it. You're like, oh, I'll make that investment every single time. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
how
something that,
quickly can we trade hands and trade money? If you're going to forex me every single time,
yeah.
I will do it.
Yeah, 100%. And just one thing I want to commend you for very quickly, Jimmy, is that every scenario and things that are coming to your head in answering these questions, you're thinking of a specific person. And I
Yeah,
really commend that because you're like, hey, and Tracy and Jeff and then John and over there in Florida. I really like that because oftentimes I think businesses, as they start to grow, as they start to scale, it becomes more of an operation and like numbers coming in as opposed to that personal touch. So I just wanted to say props to you on that because it's very rare that I have conversations with someone where they are naming specific people by their names. Obviously, it's like, hey, this company, this company, this company, but you're like, no, this person within that company. So I just wanted to
yeah.
say, really, really awesome job there.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And the more questions you ask, the more people will pop into mind. I'll say,
Yeah,
"Oh, let me tell you about this one, and let me
yeah,
tell you about this one." Because for 4 years, I was with a company that we did marketing. We were a website provider, a CRM provider. So I
sure.
traveled all over North America in a Sprinter van, visiting shops, going
Mm,
into these shops. They're all uniquely different, but they're all significantly the same.
mm,
But what is that difference? What is that difference between this shop and that shop? What is it that makes them unique and different? What is their unique selling proposition? A lot of
mm-hmm,
times they don't understand what that is
mm-hmm,
because many shops in town, they'll all give quality service. They'll all give a quality price. But
yeah,
what's the difference? What makes you
mm-hmm,
different? And
mm-hmm,
so a lot of times they don't realize that until someone like me walks in from the outside. Hey, man, I've seen shops all over town. You guys have this going on and this going on. This is amazing. And oh, by the way, why is the parking lot so full? Well,
mm,
every other shop that has a problem child, they bring that problem child to me.
mm.
Problem child is a problem car.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
dealerships bring their problem child to me because I can fix it.
Hmm.
I was like, oh my gosh, you are a diag, you're a diagnostician in the industry. People are
Mm.
bringing you their problem childs because they can't figure it out.
So that's their unique. Yeah.
You are the place that people go to because cars talk to you. And
Hmm.
that's true as well. When cars aren't running right, they run right down to Gary Sapp Automotive, Pensacola, Florida.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool, Jimmy. I have two final questions here for you. One of them I've been asking to everyone, and I think it gets people to think outside the box. So I'll start with that one, which is if you had a magic wand and you could just wave this wand, and it would solve one thing within your business, and oftentimes there's a million, but just one thing within the business that will make hitting your goals a lot easier. What would that one thing be?
That's an interesting question. If I had a magic wand in the automotive industry and I was to wave it,
Yeah, for your specific business.
oh, for my
Yeah,
specific
for your
business,
business, how do you reach your goals faster? How do you get rid of these challenge? How do you get rid of that obstacle? Wave the wand and it's gone. It's gone.
man, unfortunately, it would be taking away people's freedom and free agency because I want them to implement. I want them to succeed. And there's many in the industry that come to us and
Mm,
they they think they're ready. They think that they want it. They'll come in for the coaching and training, but they won't implement anything. They hear what we're saying. They
mm,
hear the advice, but they don't do anything.
mm,
And I would never, ever, ever, ever want to take away somebody's free agency and their ability to choose. I want everybody to have the freedom to make their choices.
mhm,
So I guess if that magic wand were mine, I would want to be able to have the ability
mm,
to inspire them to take those steps, to make those changes, to make that movement so that it helps them, it helps their shop, it
mm,
helps their business, it helps their employees, it helps their clients, their customers, their community. They can do more in a community if the shelves are full. If the
mhm.
shelves are empty, there's not much charity you can give.
Yeah.
If the shelves are full because you run a good business, you have a vision, you have a inspiration, you have implementation,
Mm,
you can do so much more. So my magic wand would be inspiration,
interesting.
influence,
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah, it's like the inspiration would give them the awareness of like, hey, I have this problem and I gotta go through with it, and it's all good, but I gotta do it, and I will do it. Boom, get it over the line. Awesome, I really like that. And the final question here that I have for you, Jimmy, is actually not a question from me. It's a question from the past guest, and they had no idea who you were. So, ready for the question?
Yes.
What have you learned about yourself during your entrepreneurial journey?
Whew, wow. I have learned that the impossible just takes me a little bit longer.
Hmm.
Nothing is impossible. Everything is doable. It just might take me a little bit longer to get there.
That's so awesome. I like that. I like that a lot. Jimmy, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being on, obviously sharing your insights, sharing your stories. Where can people go if they want to learn a little bit more about what you guys have going on?
Yeah, head on over to our website, wearetheinstitute.com. All one word, wearetheinstitute.com. And my email is jimmy at wearetheinstitute.com.
Phenomenal. I'll leave everything down below here in the description. Thank you so much for your time, Jimmy.
Thank you.